how does racism impact participation and the knowledge production in research?
Thank you, Natalie. Well, as you mentioned, lots of quite a few of the factors that influence how racism would affect research has been sort of listed or talked about tonight. But one side that I'd like to sort of concentrate on is our research is conducted. We do tend to approach it in a very racialized way, particularly in this country. Now, we would tend to use race or ethnicity. Ethnicity is quite linked to race as a variable, even when this is not necessary. And unfortunately, what happened, usually we create sort of categories, or we use existing categories rather, which were not actually created for research. And what we do, we sort of merge everyone together. So, I mean, in this country, we use people of, well, a bit less people of color, but more BAME, Black, Asian, and minority ethnic people. So in a sense, what we do, we create a dichotomy between everyone who is from the white majority population and everyone else. So we have created literally two races that we analyze research around that. And as quite a few of the panelists mentioned earlier, we create a narrative and we come up with some findings, and then we sort of label that group of minority with all this narrative around it. And then we suddenly all share almost that same commonality of being a problematic sort of group. And in fact, what that does as well is that when you try to, for example, looking for people for research, like I think was it Don mentioned that you get those sort of label where it says that minority ethnic population are difficult to recruit. They don't access services. And if we try to recruit them, that would require too much time, too much money, would cost a bit too much. So with that sort of label, not only doesn't help, because if you're part of this group, you tend to sort of just think, well, if they think this is how I am, I may as well not participate. But also on the researcher side, researchers find themselves a little bit more hesitant, more circumspect into trying to involve minority ethnic population. Now, I have to use that term, but I don't like these terms because, you know, when you use minority ethnic population, BAME, you merge people that are not supposed to be together. You just merge them and say they're all the same. And I'm sure everybody would agree that the experience of a Black person who was born in this country is will be totally different to a South Asian or Gypsies. I mean, yet we put them all together and report research like that. And another one of the problems that creates is the fact that, you know, when you read a report, for example, the latest COVID report, you have to read it really carefully to know who exactly they're talking about. You know, when they say minority ethnic population are higher risk. Now, the official sort of meaning of these terms includes people who are white, people who are Black, people from different countries. And then when they say that, you don't know who exactly they're talking about. I mean, who exactly get ill? Is this, you know, are the Irish included, the Gypsy included, are the Black African? And you usually come to the point in asking yourself, why would we actually use those sort of labels to carry research, if not to simply separate a group of people that do not share the same skin tone as the majority population?